welcome to another exciting episode topic in Minol Dee. And on the show today, I have with me Mr. Nisal Caldera, the president of the EMA Association of SriLanka. Welcome to the show. Hi, welcome everyone. Nisal, first of all, tell us what is the EMA Association? Okay, so before I go into that, let me quick glance on Sri Lanka event industries per se. So basically, Sri Lankan event industry spans back to over 40 years. There are a handful of people which started the industry and so on. In the early 2000s, it was growing very fast, and now the industry has come to a point where we give out 32 billion with GDP, with 80,000 indirect staff and 30,000 direct staff, or I would say stakeholders working towards making the management industry successful. So within the event management industry, you get the event suppliers, event wedding planners, and the event manager. So these are the three main categories. So coming up to the point where we're talking about what is EMA? EMA stands for Event Management Association Sri Lanka, which consists of right now over 60 members. The reason why we started, I'll give you an idea why we started. In 2019, when the Easter bomb attack took place, after the subsequent to the bomb attack, to be very honest, the entire industry came to standstill. So then, couple of people in the industry, couple of giants in the industry got together and called everyone who were part of the industry. I still remember it was Watersage in the late, probably in May, I think, late May in 2019. We got together and had our first meeting. So there we decided that we should get together and as an industry come together and stand before the industry. So that's where we started. And as an official industry in 2019 December, we got ourselves officially registered in the government of Sri Lanka as an event management association. So it's a registered body in the government of Sri Lanka. Under that, right now it is registered as an association, but we are in the process of we are getting ourselves registered under the Ministry of Cultural Affairs. I think all the Ministry Vikram Nayak. But on the other hand, during COVID, we got ourselves identified, recognized at the Finance Ministry, and now the event industry has been identified by the Finance Ministry, and we have been getting moratoriums and other financial facilities for our members. Right. So how can one become a member? Is there a process? Yes, our criteria are very hardcore, I would say that, because we maintain very high standards. Safety comes in a very high manner, because we take safety as a very important player in our industry. So our criteria are such that the basics are actually, if you go to ema.lk, there is a part where you can how to become a member. So you just plug in there, and there is a application form you can fill in online. But in the criteria, quickly give you a touch. So you have to be in the industry for 5 years. You have to be a taxpayer. We very much look into those, as well as a minimum of, if I'm not mistaken, per year you have to do about 6 events per year. So approximately you are looking at about 30 events for that entire 5 years. Those records have to be available, and once you submit, the expo will evaluate, and you will have an interview. You have to face the interview. Once that is done, of course, if you are eligible, you become an official member of EFA. Right. So simple, not simple process at all. No, not at all. We are very strict on our members. So how many members do we have right now? Right now it's 60 plus. I think about 63. Right. Colombo based or all island based? No, all island actually. So we have members from Kandy, we have members from Gaul. It's not here. So how EMA has helped the international Sri Lanka as a whole? Okay, so if you take EMA as a whole, the biggest idea, the goal is to bring the industry together. that means have peace and harmony within the players. Okay, which you don't get it in. See, this association is all about competition. Yeah. All the competitors are there. Yeah. So why we brought up with this concept if we have that unity within the industry? I think 98% I would say, in fact I was having a chat with one with my treasurer today also that's about our unity and I think 98% we are achieving. So the main reason, or rather the core, our vision is to bring unity within the industry and help each other. Knowledge sharing is a must. So whenever we have issues within our groups, we exchange. We can immediately we get solutions within ourselves. So that is one of the key aspects and probably our main vision as a event management association. But beyond that, of course, there are a lot of benefits where if you become a member or if you are in the industry as a EMA member, you get, for instance, now in 2022, we signed up with in December, we signed up with Event Management Association, Event and Entertainment Management Association in India, with over 700 members, which is the largest in India. And we signed an MOU for the benefit of our members as well as their benefit. So whenever we have events in Sri Lanka or whenever those members have the events in India or when they won't have it in Sri Lanka and then we won't have it in India, vice versa, we help each other. And it was a huge opening. And the president and general secretary as well as vice president came down to Sri Lanka. Samit, of course, is the right now president as well. So it was signed in front of President Minister Vijay Vikramanayake then. So it was a huge milestone in the industry, event industry in Sri Lanka. There onwards, I think beyond that, last year we signed up another alliance with Event and Entertainment Management Association, where it was called Korea, which stands for Congress in Regional Event Management Association. So they brought in 27 provincial event management associations together, over 3,000 members. We were the offshore members, the first offshore members. So Nepal will be joining soon, and Bangladesh, and this becomes a huge alliance. And so there's a lot of now these 3,000 members, whenever they have to have an event in Sri Lanka, a MICE event or a wedding or a destination wedding, they can just log into our website. We have a directory. All right. You can just go through the directory, find the best, because when you're working with the event management association member, there's always credibility and accountability. We are responsible. So that's the benefit you get. Maybe Sri Lanka event, maybe offshore events, the credibility and accountability is there always. So I'm going to ask you a very tough question. Now, entertainment industry has suffered a lot. I personally feel now we had the 30 years ago, and then the tsunami, it's COVID, yeah, the economic crash. So when you put all together, the first thing that get hit first is the even at the development industry. So it has suffered a lot. I mean, there are so many people indirectly getting benefited from the industry. Like the sound guys, the lighting guys. So that's 80,000. 80,000 in Sri Lanka. Yes. So what are your thoughts on the whole entertainment industry in Sri Lanka? Okay. So, like I said, why we started the Management Association was the least of me. They onwards, same year 2019, in November, we had two prime ministers. Yeah. And then 2020 March, we had the COVID, which ran for about 1.5 years. Then ended up with Aragalaya, which ran for another 6 to 8 months. So now we are picking up. To be very honest, right now, not like we are, the country has really picked up where tourism is concerned. So, I mean, right now, about 7,000 visitors come to Sri Lanka for a day. That's huge. So, there are things happening. So, there are investors who are investing in Sri Lanka, who are coming up with events for their investments, for their product launches. Then the giants are having the giant corporates are having their convention, conferences. It has really picked up there. So, I'm happy to say because our event management association is responsible for this for our members to have this momentum. Yeah. Not that we are directly responsible, it's just like to keep things happening. So right now, happy to say, you must be seeing on social media there's so much of concerts there. So Sri Lanka is happening. It's happening. That's my word. I always use that. Sri Lanka is happening. So I don't know how. We just hope that it keeps going. Exactly. I mean, like upstairs, they're always with us probably. I mean, it's really nice. Where the events are concerned outdoor. I mean, mostly whether it's in our favor, then where the rest of the I would say tourist the attractions are concerned, every place is being developed. There are places have been so many restaurants and restaurants coming up. Yeah, also places like Venice, Ecuador, they are moving, and they are moving. So these little things help the event industry and the entertainment industry to grow. Hospital industry is growing, and you get many hotels, you 5,000 activities. Yeah. So all these things are coming, and that directly and indirectly helps the event management association. The answer to your question is Sri Lanka is happening. Okay, now moving in the industry for, I think, 2 decades, more than 2 decades, I believe. I would say in the entertainment industry since 1986, so for a long time. Yeah. Industry. So when you compare the entertainment industry back in the day and you compare the scene right now, how do you see this difference? Okay, so right now, if we go back, I will start from the history. So 1986, 87, I was a DJ, and like playing gigs here and there. So then there were a handful of players where the events were concerned. So there was not much of competition, and the prices were very high. Yeah. So we were, DJing was a very minor part of an event thing, 1980s. So 2000, the DJ industry started growing. Yeah. The mobile industry. After the war. Exactly. So, no, in the, pardon me, in the early 90s, the DJ industry, DJ industry started growing. Because it was always, good old days, 1980s, it was within a certain area. Then in early 2000, it started growing on a very high, because the demand was high. Then it reached in 2000, so early 2000s, that's when I also, being a DJ, converted myself into an mini event manager in early 2000s, where the industry which was established at a very low scale started growing, and the corporates and the clients requirements became bigger. So then it needed the coping up. And then little by little, the event industry started growing. And then technology came into play. It sounds to the rest of the technical part of it. And literally, it grew to a huge market right now. Like I said, it's a 32 billion market in Sri Lanka. Okay. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. That's huge. So 30,000 directly and indirectly 80,000. How is the help, or is there help at all from the government, like from the industry? A very good question, a very appropriate question. Government during COVID, we were identified by the finance ministry, like I told you earlier, as an industry. And we were given benefits, rather financial benefits. Moratorium, nothing else. Although sometime back, I remember, if you go through the Hansard, you'll get it. One of the budgets, it was announced that we will be getting, the Indian industry will be getting 500 million, which didn't happen actually. But see, even to announce that within the budget speech, that was the achievement that we got. We achieved. So, where the government was concerned, and where the COVID was concerned, we went through the health ministries, then we went into finance ministries, we went into the president, then prime minister, all that we had discussions, and then of course those blocks we had to have events, if you can remember those limitations we had, they were discussed, negotiated, and little by little we opened up the industry. Then yes, there was huge help from the government. We were negotiating and we were giving options and we were trying to start up the industry.
But right now, of course, there's a huge tax which is involved, as you know. So clients are struggling because 18% VAT plus SSCL, of course, the vendor has to pay out. So 18%, let's say you do an event for 1 million, so it's approximately about 1,180,000 is the amount that is the base that point tax. So that's the struggle for the client, which mostly which you can't sort of claim back, right? Can't claim back. So it becomes an expense. So there's a small struggle where there's.
So let me understand this now. Is it valid for the corporate events or is it just public events?
Now, see, corporate events to a certain extent, there are slabs. If it's an educational event, you can claim. But if it's an entertainment event, you can. I'm not sure.
Okay,
this is. I'm just giving an example. There is a tax. There is a VAT. There is the VAT. Yeah. So, for corporates, it's better off for them if they can claim. But here, what happens is certain events you can't claim.
Right. Okay.
So there is a drawback in that. Basically that becomes an expense for the client.
Yes.
So most of these events are taken from their marketing budget. So that hits to their marketing budget as well. But for individuals, it's 100% an expense. You can't claim it. So that's where the problem is. Officially, it comes to. So anyway, those are, of course, where countries concerned when it's developing, all this comes into play. So beyond that, it's there's hardly any issues with the government, but then we are trying to come up with the concepts of all these event suppliers where they have the equipment. There is no guideline for the duties. Now, recently we had an issue where certain equipment was come down and there is no guideline. Okay, LED walls, this is the amount. Sounds, this is the amount. Lighting, this is the amount. Sort of a legit amount which can be applied so the market becomes stable.
Right.
Here, some people pay an X amount at higher end, some people pay a lower amount, which is a Y. So this gap is being absorbed by the client. So rather, client has to sacrifice that because the supplier has to get that money back.
So this is where the undercoding happens.
Exactly. This is what undercoding, in backstabbing, I would say, happens. So because suppliers pay millions and millions, especially even suppliers. Right now, if you take an average event, the investment is over 50 million minimum. So at the end of the day, you get about 800,000 to 1 million. So you need to cover that. So that's the problem.
Now this concern is there with the in the DJ industry as well, because I've had about 2-3 interviews with the relevant people in the CCDJ as well as the Stock Association. We ever had this chat about this undercoding thing, bringing a certain amount or fixed amount among the players, but I don't think it's
it's not viable. So event management association, any association in consideration. When there is competition, when there are competitors in the association, which is, it's natural. It's very difficult to police, but ethics play a major part.
Right.
So that's what I said at the beginning. I think we have achieved 98%. Believe me, within ourselves, whenever there are, if the event managers are being called for, you have the A event happening and a couple of event managers from the association we call, we talk to each other.
Right, okay.
We network each other. Yeah, it's nice then. So when we decide to, it's nice. The harmony and actually the harmony that we share, it is very nice right now.
Great example.
Exactly. So
right. As we continue our chat with the President of the Event Management Association of Sri Lanka, Mr. Nisal Caldera now. Nisal, a personal question. Now, when you think about the international arena, we see a lot of events like regular events happening, maybe annual, Tomorrowland, Sunburn, Mani Festival, and so on and so forth. Why are we yet to see an event of that scale here in Sri Lanka? Can we do it?
Of course we can. Facilities are there, equipment are there. I'm going to ask you a question. Now, what is the TG that we are doing these events for?
Let's say, if if an event of that scale is happening, I mean, everybody will go, but let's just target a market, let's say 20 to 30 or no, 20 to 40.
Okay, so basically, mainly it should happen probably down south of the land, right?
Yeah. Do we have the space, like a venue?
Space, of course, we can manage up to about 10,000, 15,000, we could manage. But you know, to a certain, I mean, I will give you some data. In Sri Lanka, people who go out, like I said, 20 to 30, are a handful of people.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maximum of 10,000. In that also, nightlife comes to a number of about 1,500.
Yeah.
These are facts. In that also, regulars come to about 700.
Yeah.
Okay, so now when you spend these huge amounts and bringing down international artists and spending that massive exactly. See, now those, the TG is very high. You're talking 100,000 plus people, Tomorrowland is minimum 300,000 people. Right? So we need to then bring down people. To do that, the investment is very high. Now I'll give you an example. I was just thinking, I just laid this at the EMA Expo also. Recently we went to see, this is a personal scenario when you ask, I'm going back to my personal life as well. So we went to see Coldplay, I think last February to Bangkok, right? So I'm just giving you a heads up. So we bought the tickets, actually my daughter bought the tickets last year May. Okay. She managed to get it for $40,000. See that? The same ticket, one of my friends bought it for 200,000, quite close to the event. Yeah, same ticket, black market, all of the things. Then, okay, let's say we spent 40,000. Flight was 150,000 rather. The air ticket was 150,000. Hotel stay was another 50,000. That's 250,000 we spent. Then for 3 days, other expenditure came to another, let's say 50,000. So that's about 300,000. Imagine if you bring down Coldplay, wouldn't be possible, obviously, I would spend 100,000 or 150,000 on a ticket. And we can have it, like so many Sri Lankans were there at the Coldplay concert. So now if we take the equation, we would have event for 100,000 per Coldplay, per concert. But how many people will go there? That's the problem. What is the spending power of these kind of events? See, the ticket prices are high on this, like you said, Tomorrowland, Sunburn, all the ticket prices are high because technologies are very high, the players are very high, high-end players come in, they need to be phoned down. So, our community which takes part in this is my personal, 100% personal, mind you, this is where we can't afford to do an event like that. The TG, a number of people who will participate in this event is it's not enough to even cover, and the sponsors are not coming through. So sponsors also play a major part. So that's where the problem is.
But we have seen actually so many international artists who have come down in Sri Lanka.
Correct.
Many people have come down to Sri Lanka.
Exactly. Now that trend, I don't know for what reason, probably the buying power. We had issues, so probably the buying power, because to go to a concert and spend about 15,000, 20,000 rupees, you need an X amount of money where you fulfill your basic needs and then spend that money for a concert. So right now, I think it's building up. I think in the very near future, you'll be seeing international artists coming.
Is there something on the cards?
I wouldn't try to open it up, but then there are some. Right.
As your role as the president of the EMA, tell us about your role in the association.
Okay, so since inception I've been there, and then I was Exco member, then I became secretary, and then I was appointed as the president this year. So actually our first president, he kept the momentum, he got everyone together, he somehow managed everyone's brain patterns, hacked into everyone's brain pattern and somehow got things together. So then we, I think, started around 35, 40 members. Yeah, and then managed to bring things together. So I'm full respect for Mr. Prashant Vijayaratne actually, who kept the momentum, which was very important for 2 years.
Whose idea was it?
This was a couple of times I said, I mean, namely also I can say so, Sajid Kodikar from Imagine actually initiated, then Senior from AB Business System, audiovisual systems, Senior was in part, then Kamesh from Full Tempo, so all these people were a part who brought us together, everyone together at what sense, like I told you. And then, I'm sorry if I missed any names, but then these are the names that struck me. So these are the key people who brought things together. Then there onwards, Prashant was made as the president. So he stayed there for 2 years, did an amazingly tremendous and fantastic job of keeping things together, because that's the most important part. In the initial stage, that's right. So secondly, it was taken over by Nishan Vasantantri, who is from Promo Watch. So he started bringing in that India was his concept to bring in everything and establishing. So he did establishment. So now this is a running horse. So I got myself onto it. Now my responsibility is to keep the unity, the momentum together and give facilities to our members. So financially as well as industry-wise. So I'm sorry, not the wrong word, not financially, monetarily I would say. So now to become a member you have to approximately pay about 25,000 for a year. So for that, the value added, we converted certain facilities where for that 25,000 you pay, you're covered. So, you know, like you don't have to think twice about the money that you spend. Monetarily, it is covered. Through certain facilities. There onwards, the unity and the parties and you know, like all that comes to play. So this year, when I became the president, I had a plan which is called 12-12. So in that, one of the key aspects is right now we are negotiating with VTA, that's Vocational Training Authority, as well as the Education Ministry, coming up with an event management diploma course, which is equal to NVQ 4.
Right.
So probably we will be starting within this year. Right? It's a 6 months course which runs along with a 3 months course, English course at VTA. So, which is I think quite an achievement. So we are in the last stages of the discussions and we have done the curriculum. So it's a great achievement. So our own members will be lecturing. So I mean the main stuff all invited, it all be pumped into the line. So it's a matter of now probably getting ourselves organized and coming up with it. So on. So there are like CSR projects coming down the pipeline. We had that Auludul Surveyor, which was a huge success. So we had it for our families as well as for our office colleagues who are members, office colleagues, and that was a quarter that we had on the 9th of April, I think, which was a huge success. So likewise, my main idea is to bring unity, keep that momentum. You know, if there are any issues, I personally get myself involved and speak to the members and you know, try to remove the beef and get things going.
So that means there are beefs happening.
Of course, I mean in the society
It's a competitive industry.
It is a competitive. This is not a association where I mean now Lion, you take Lion Association or Lion or whatever, Leos or whatever. So those are for community services and you know, like if people get together and service the community and stuff like that. But they are associated. Here, the most toughest call is the
business, you know, bro.
Exactly.
So everybody's after something.
So let's say we have a quarter, we have a thing called the open day. So all the members come there, we have a small session, eye opener or icebreaker, and then onwards we have drinks and we have a good time. But once you walk out from that door, we are competitive. We become competitive.
Just like the match. On the field and off the field.
Yeah, exactly. So keeping that harmony in and out is very important. So that's the major part that I have to play.
Okay. Final few questions before I wrap things up on the show. Being in the entertainment industry as a teacher, like you mentioned back in the 80s, anybody who wants to come up into the industry, what would you say?
To event management industry.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of the event managers are DJs.
Yeah, that's their start.
Yeah, that's their start because that's where you learn entertainment, how to entertain people. But for me, I would always say, you are an event manager. I mean, whoever who is in this, as a community in this, in Sri Lanka, you wouldn't believe you are born event managers. You know,
Yeah,
ask me why.
it's true.
Ask me why.
Because everybody manages an event. Some time in their life.
You manage your wedding.
Yeah.
You manage your first
Birthday.
baby's birthday.
Yeah.
You manage your mom and dad's funerals. You manage the almsgiving or some church.
Yeah.
So those are basic events, and you are a event manager yourself. You get your guest list sorted out, get your menu sorted out. You handle the caterer. You know, that's what now we do at a bigger scale. We come up with concepts professionally. So now, for a young man who wants to be an event manager, I would say, and I would recommend you now. We have come the hard way. We've learned ourselves. We've seen other people do, our seniors do, and we learn from them. And now we have our own systems also. So I work on a philosophy called OWF, off, which is on-time delivery, flexibility, and finish. Those are the 3 lines. So the entire operation of our company based on these. So likewise, for a young man, I mean, event management is an amazing job. It's not a job actually, it's an art.
It's an art. Yeah.
It's an art. So basically, event manager brings things together. You have your canvas and you have the paint, you have your other whatever.
It's your creativity, no?
It's the creativity. It's an art. We sell dreams, Actually, now I've been in the industry on my own for the past 13 years. Before that, I was with another company as an event manager. Believe me, I have only 6 walkie-talkies. That's all. So that's the event manager. Because event managers, I mean, of course, you can have your equipment, but it's a creative job. We sell dreams to the client. So you need to be, if you want to be a real event manager, you need to know from ground zero what's going on.
Yeah.
From fixing a cable from a console to an amp, fixing a light, EMX, everything. From nailing a stage, you need to know your onions. Others you cannot, because technically it will be sound where you need to express your ideas to the client. You can't just sit behind a computer, create an unusual setup which is not possible or practical, and present it to the client. And once the client says, okay, this is beautiful, go ahead, beautiful, and go ahead, you get stuck because it's not practical. So you need getting hands-on experience. You need that. Then only you to develop your creativity. Put in creativity, I always say young people, you need your technical background, you need your creative background. Put things together, you have a handful of people in Sri Lanka who are good at both things as event managers. So develop those 2 skills and nothing will go wrong. Absolutely, it's an amazing industry and it's growing very fast. That's why now we need discipline within ourselves because code of conduct is very important where event managers are concerned. Safety is very important. Standards are very important. High standards. Finesse is very important where when you are delivering a project. So these are little, I would say, icing on the cake that you need to put in.
Yeah. So that will make the industry standardized as well. No?
Definitely. So that's what we are doing. We are speaking to the venues. We are introducing our event managers to all these venues. We are having a card which is accepted by most of the 5 stars, which we have negotiated and have discussions. So we have brought up the standard. Now we need to brought up the event managers in standard as well of our members. So which we are doing. So safety wise, we are very strict on safety. When you are working, you need to wear, if you are working above 5 feet, you need to wear a helmet. If you are working on a scaffolding, you need to have your harness. So likewise, we have certain guidelines we are implementing. We are trying to have workshops now to educate our our members, so on. So for a start, I think probably in the next 3 months or so, we'll come up with this Event Management Association course, which is affiliated to VTA as well as to Ministry of Education, most probably, where you will have NEQ4, which is recognized by the whole world. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, most of the countries accept NEQ level. So this is NEQ4, where the course which you are starting now, the diploma course. So, I mean, anyone who's interested, please do write to us and we will give our fullest support. I mean, it's a fantastic profession.
Is it like confirmed events will be happening in place? When
Probably one of the outlets which are attached to it. But
Right.
we can always break the news.
Sure. Right. One final question before I wrap it up. I'm gonna take you back. Okay. You said that you started off as a DJ. Let's take us back. How did you get into DJ?
Okay, so 1986, I lost my father, then we moved into Nagala. So that's where I would say the mobile DJ hub started.
Cool Tempo.
Yes, namely I would say Cool Tempo, Roshan, then of course Bonnie, Stan, all those people in one gang, as well as myself. And Taksil, Prashant, Taksil guys, Prashant, CJ. So all these pioneer DJs were in this small gang in Nagala, so I was part of it. So then little by little, Taksil and Prashant, they used to do DJing with cassettes in the 1980s. So then the most toughest part when you're doing DJing with cassettes is where you need to rewind the song and get it. So I was the assistant and I had to kneel myself down, use a twin player,
Rewinding back.
and so he says, okay, get out of my greens. I put the cassette and I rewind it and I listen. Then I give it to him. Then he plays. So at the end of the day, I get about 50 rupees. So that's the start actually as a DJ. So that's why I said, being event manager also you need those groundwork. You need to know the technicalities. You need to know your creatives. Then only you put things together and you can become successful in it. So likewise, I knew my audience. I started with that. So little by little, I went into CDs. Then, of course, before going into CDs, I was working for Jerry Jassing, Mr. Jerry Jassing, Entertainment Suite, and I was a DJ there. I was playing at my kind of place. I was playing at Blue Elephant. I was playing at Cockpit. So I was the assistant DJ for Steve J, who was a renowned DJ, who used to play at Stringfellows in London. I was trained under him as well. So that background took me to the next level where discipline was concerned. So how to handle equipment. Good old days, I don't smoke or drink on the console. You don't. You cannot be drunk and handle a console. You get scolded by Jerry. So I mean that discipline really helped me out. From there onwards, so I was on, and then in 1992 I became a banker, but still I was DJ. I was then a famous DJ, and then 1999 I left SriLanka and moved out, and then Kamesh has been my friend since 1986 from Cool Tempo. He wanted to join Cool Tempo, and then I joined. And 2000 we started event management in Cool Tempo. By 2012, Cool Tempo was one of the top event management associations, but it was too much of pressure for me, so I moved out. Wanted to go abroad, but then actually one of our clients, I don't want to take that story back again, one of the clients wanted me to handle a huge event, which I said no, but then he insisted and kept the advance also ready. So I started in 2012 November on my own as a brand, and then there onwards it has been pretty much of a success story. So the point here is, I was a brand, Nisal was a brand. So there onwards,
it's a personal brand.
Yeah. So that's the journey, and then I'm proud to say that I'm the president of the Event Management Association, which is the greatest achievement an event manager could get. So to all those young people who are watching, event management is an amazing. You can't call it a job actually. it's amazing. Basically, you are an artist. Absolutely. You are an artist and you have the canvas, you have your brushes, you have your paint, put things together and your, outcome is your art. That
Create that dream.
exactly. Right.
We were having the chat with the president of Event Management Association of Sri Lanka, Mr. Nisal Caldera. It was lovely having you on the show.
Absolutely.
And let's meet up again sometime soon.
Thank you so much. Right.